Hi, this is Blue, and welcome to Blue's Dreams. So, I want to tell you about the dream I had last night. I have a dream almost every night, so it's not an unusual occurrence for me to have a vivid dream. But last night's dream was rather peculiar and strange. So, what it was about was a bunch of random things were happening, but there's always usually one part of a dream that usually stands out. So, I was wanting to buy something and it had to do with sports equipment. So I went into a department store, kind of just looking around. But the thing is, when I went into this department store, it was as though I was walking into a 1970's era store. See, I was born in the 1990's, so I've never been in a 1970's store, but this is how it kind of appeared to me in my dream. So immediately as I walked in the store, the colors were muted. It was like one of those lo-fi hip hop type color blends, kind of very muted but colorful. I guess more just like those old music videos you see. And there was a lot of wood everywhere, a lot of different browns and wood paneling and all that kind of good stuff. So what I was looking for exactly, or what I was focusing on in the store, was their sports equipment, specifically their golf equipment for some reason. So, the equipment in the store was nothing you'd see in real life. It was this old looking clubs with club heads that were extremely small. So, it was basically like baby clubs everywhere. I guess usually when you think of the past, you think of things being smaller and not nearly as useful, but these clubs, they were about the size of like spoons and spatulas. Very short, very small, and it was like unusable stuff. So I kept searching and searching and had very trouble finding stuff. And these clubs, they were kind of just perched up against the wall, kind of leaning up against the wall. Same with the tennis rackets and the other sports equipment. And the shoes, particularly, they were not in boxes, but rather they were on shelves all over the walls. And of course, these shoes were almost impossible to fit on my feet, which was strange. So I was buying a golf club today and I wasn't buying shoes today. But right now, for example, I'm recording a video on my phone, but I wanted to kind of take a picture of this very peculiar department store with my phone. So once I pulled my phone out of my pocket and I was setting up for take a picture, I visioned it in my head. Well, this is the perfect spot. It was between the women's department with a bunch of colorful garments and also the music department, which you don't really see so often in stores anymore with CDs kind of going out of style. But I kept backing up and backing up, and I could never fit what I wanted into the frame of the picture, which was kind of disappointing. So I ended up taking a couple pictures with my phone, but to my displeasure, I just couldn't snap the shot that I wanted. Now, the strange thing about the store was they had this in shop movie theater. So, like in museums, there'll be certain areas sectioned off that have historic videos playing, or sometimes in art museums, they'll have like a artistic video playing, not in a sectioned off room. So there'll be like either a door or just like a walkthrough, and maybe you have to pull away like some blinds to get through. But this department store, they had a similar sectioned off room like that, and they were playing what appeared to me to be a horror film, but it was actually just a historic information film about a very odd insect that had gone extinct. So apparently, in my dream, there had been this huge bug that kind of appeared to be a stingray in terms of it being very flat and kind of slimy looking. And like I know stingrays underwater, they don't appear slimy, but when you touch them at the aquarium, they kind of have that slick feel to them. So this bug, it was kind of a grayish, bluish bug, and it moved extremely slowly. And this was a apparent pest in the 1970's. So it moved slowly, and it kind of looked similar to amoeba in that there were different sections of different colors, had a few spines or spikes popping out of it, some areas, and a few hairs here and there, but it was very flat. So it could fit under furniture, and it could fit in places that you would not usually look. So even though it was a huge insect, maybe about the size of a small plate, it was something that barely was found. So the video was showing how exterminators had gone around in the 1970's kind of making this bug extinct, massive bug extinct. So what they did is this bug usually went behind electric panels in like buildings, or it went behind stoves. So what they did is they took this big pick out and they would just jam it into the electric panel, and supposedly that would just stab this insect and kill it. Other things they did is they would take this kind of zapping tool and they would just press it against the wall, and electric current would go through the electric panel and just shock it dead. Same like if it was behind a stove, they would kind of just place it against the wall, a buzzing noise would occur, and that would be it. The insect would be killed, or this bug or whatever. I guess if you're still having trouble picturing this extremely weird bug in your head, if a stingray isn't working for you, I guess if you ever watched Ned's School Survival, in the opening scene, or in the opening that they play every episode, they talk about school lunches. So one of the school lunches, extremely disgusting. It's kind of like a slimy thing, and the school lunch moves. So it's kind of like a plate of food moving around. So that's another way you could envision this bug. So for me, when I was having this dream, it seemed as though that I had seen this bug somewhere before, or it was like a common thing that I had never seen in my everyday life. And so this informational video in this movie department in the department store was just kind of filling in that information in my head where I had a blank. So even though it wasn't an art museum or like any type of history museum, this was a department store giving a informational talk about this pest that existed in the 1970's and maybe 80's that went extinct. And that's basically the most vivid thing that popped up into my dream. I don't really know how this has to do with my everyday life or how it relates to what I was doing the previous day, besides maybe just thinking about golf and watching a few videos on YouTube about golf. But this insect, not sure why, it was in my mind going to bed that night. Well, anyway, if you had a strange dream, you can just share it below in the comments. If you like this type of content, I have a dream almost every night, so make sure to subscribe, leave a comment and a like, and just let me know if you like this type of material. I have dreams, I have daydreams, so this might be the type of content that this channel will have in the future. Okay? Sweet dreams. Bye bye.